and we've seen it. We've seen big side changes in this wind, the tricky bounces.
And we're starting off with Whittaker serving.
I hate to say it, but it must be that basketball influence.
That
I'm saying that
influence
just for
came
him right
into
there,
it.
but he's obviously has some tennis, especially when you see that two-handed backhand. That's something I love seeing more in the men's game. You're seeing more of the two-hander, not just the one-hander.
Staksrud quick to score there, and we're at 1-0 already. Hopefully the wind is dying down a little bit.
And one thing you've seen a little bit in these last couple of matches is that fence. They're all kind of gauging how much space they have between the baseline and the fence. And I mean, Whittaker's a big guy right there.
He's
I mean,
very
you can
tall.
just see that coverage coming up quick.
So we're 0-1. Whittaker served. Call is out, so we have another side out. Going back to Staksrud.
1-0.
Had a lot of let serves today.
Yeah, but I think that's common also when we have wind issues, but we're also, I mean, they're going for that serve. They're keeping it low over the net. And that's 2-3 passing shots already from Staksrud. We're just going behind Whittaker.
Bringing his score up to 2-0.
2-0.
Height definitely made a difference.
Yeah, he's a little off balance, you can kind of see. And you see that a lot. Like, players kind of sometimes don't realize it's 15 feet that we're moving forward, and sometimes we go too fast.
Absolutely. So we're 0-2. Whittaker serving.
And that's probably the smoothest shot we've seen from him. He's take a little bit more time striking that, and like we said in our last round, the men are going to probably come in a little bit quicker, use as much coverage as they can. So they're every return basically they're coming forward. Again, look at that
Amazing shot by Whittaker there.
And just using that space. They're both up at the line. Again, that's something we're going to see a little bit more in men's singles versus women's singles. When you have two big guys out there, they're able to cover that ground very easily.
So we're tied up momentarily at 2-2.
That I'd love to see this fire ground. I've never seen Whittaker play myself, but he's motivated, he's excited,
Animated.
Animated.
Love
I like
it.
that. It hasn't been a very animated morning.
It hasn't. It's cloudy. We're
It's
trying.
cloudy. Everyone's kind of, we had a rain day yesterday.
Just not able to get back on that one, so we're going to be side out. Staksrud will be serving at 2-3.
The official ball of the PPA Tour.
I mean, the fact that he almost got that is
I
pretty
know.
incredible in the first place, though. But it's you could see that.
I think he originally thought that ball might have been going out,
I
and
think
then
so.
he looked
Realized
back
it could
at it and
go in.
realized. So we're now back tied 3-3.
It's kind of again a couple times the importance of playing behind your opponent. It's something that we see happen. I always give that advice to my amateurs: is be willing to hit the same spot twice. I think players often think they need to move the ball side to side all the time, but hitting behind them is so difficult to manage once you've got them. Even there, it's not a huge penetrating return that we're seeing from Whittaker. He's just coming forward, and with his size, he's just kind of picking it up and swinging, and he's at the net within 2 steps.
And
It
just
might have been a
served
little
that
wild
one
there.
out. So let's go back to Staksrud, and we are still at 4-3.
4-3.
Slight mishit on that one.
Got 5-3, got a little bit of a lead. And just the way that ball is dipping, and that's, you can kind of see it's got a lot of heavy topspin. It's going right at his feet, and something you see a lot. Whittaker is getting to that line right as that ball is being struck, and the timing is just so difficult in that. So we either get a little bit quicker or maybe half second later. Again, that's something we're seeing quite a bit. It's the possibility of going around the post. Yeah, absolutely, Staksrud could have gone around the post in that, but you could see the natural thing to do is cover that ball. So it's now we're kind of seeing just going back cross court rather than hitting that around the post shot.
So we now have Whittaker 3-6.
Again, and that's kind of the same thing. It's the ball's a little bit low to the ground, so can be tricky when you're trying to get under it.
Staksrud still ahead 6-3. And now we'll take another point, taking him up to 7-3.
And this is kind of what we've seen in our previous matches. When you're on this side, a lot of those balls are going long on that far side because of the wind. It's kind of the same thing again. Like I said, Whittaker's, he's coming forward and he's...
Okay, so we're back at time in. Staksrud is up 8-3.
I mean, that's a strong, aggressive, solid serve. And it's kind of the same thing. It's Whittaker's just not doing enough with those returns. So Staksrud had so much time to move around, take a forehand, and just paint the other sideline. And you could see the momentum behind that serve. So there's, you know, one thing you're kind of seeing a lot now is lifting that back leg, trying to get a little more extra body behind the ball without that toss in the serve. And now it's 10-3. Staksrud got a game point. That was a better return for sure. I think he got that a little bit deeper, but it's kind of the same thing. One thing
from the world's most iconic tennis arenas to the glint of an Olympic gold medal, a new court beckons, a new challenge arises. Jack Sock has conquered tennis. Now, pickleball's next. Mastery, precision, passion, that's what champions are made of. And when it comes to pickleball, there's only one company they turn to. Jack Sock's legacy continues with the #1 brand in pickleball. Selkirk Sport. We are pickleball.
We're going
both
to
players
go
want to start early.
starting early, keeping it going. Staksrud will start us off serving.
We'll see how he adjusts to this side. As we've seen, it's honestly the first point we've seen from a side change this morning that they've won coming on this side. Because it is a big shift.
So we're at 1-0.
It's one of the longer points we've seen. Great points. Staksrud being very smart. Whittaker's kind of running around. He's covering the ball, but you could see he's playing a lot of defense with it. And I put Staksrud at a good start at 2-0. It's kind of one of the weirder mishits. Got floated a little bit higher than he expected. But what I kind of liked about that from Whittaker is he didn't rush that shot. That's one of the easier shots to miss when you've got that high ball and you think it's easy to put away.
Whittaker serving at 0-2. He will be on the board now with that ball going slightly out. Bring him.
And that's kind of what Whittaker's got to do. He's got to keep that serve to put the pressure on Staksrud's returns and kind of maybe try to force some errors like we've seen in our previous matches on this side.
And
so Staksrud is asking if the serve was in or out. The good news is I was right on that line, and it did seem like it was in, but that is a tough one to call. It's right below his feet.
it does tie us up with that.
When you see right there, Whittaker's loading up for that shot. Well, when you've got a bigger backswing and you have wind, then it can cause some errors.
Whittaker looking much more confident on that one.
You see the difference with his returns even once he's gone over there. He's going to want to put as much pressure as possible early, get a lead if he can. It's good. Again, good movement on the court, but not able to deal with that time that Staksrud is taking away from him by coming in and putting pressure on him.
So remaining at a tie game. Staksrud serving, of course.
I mean, I think it's something we've seen. I really want to point out we've seen in every single match the importance of moving around that backhand and taking a forehand. I think one
It's
thing
made a major difference here.
I see it a lot with the amateurs. I say to all my players all the time, be willing to take more forehands.
And we are now up 3-2. Staksrud obviously taking the lead. And that ball going slightly out, so we'll take him up to 4-2.
4-2.
There we go. I mean, 2 missed returns as Whittaker, huge shift in momentum just very, very quickly. It's Whittaker had a little bit of a run, a lot of pressure, and but I like that he didn't go too far with that. He was 2 missed errors, and he's like, oh, I've got to take that time to kind of reel it in a little bit and get back on track.
Our referees today for this one is Anita Hill and Andrea Gately, both doing a great job. All the referees, as usual, per the usual, doing a great job.
Per the usual. I always think it's one of those fun things that a lot of these referees have been doing this for a while, and I will admit when I see the head referee on my court when I go to a match, I'm happy. I usually know like she's going to do a good job. She's going to keep everyone in line, and that's important. I think it's there's a lot of stress that goes on to us as players when you're making calls and you're doing those types of things, and you want someone that's reliable as a referee on your court.
So we're back at time in. Staksrud leading 5-2.
Oh gosh.
Oh, that ball did not come up at all.
That didn't. And then again, it's really tough. So Whittaker's got to really adjust for that. And like I said earlier, if you've got a bigger backswing, if you kind of set for a ball and you're not anticipating maybe the wind change, a bad bounce or anything, then that ball's going to go right by you.
Staksrud continued to make that lead at 6-2.
You know, what I loved about that was, again, how long he took to hit that ball. He took his time.
When the world sleeps, greatness rises. And while others dream of the next level, we chase it. Challenging every limit, turning obstacles into stepping stones. Because the next level isn't just handed to you. It's earned. Go next level with 6-0 Pickleball.
Before making a move and playing behind Whittaker, because Whittaker had to make a choice. He's either going to go up the line or cross court. He chose to cover that line.
7-2. Staksrud continues to build his lead here.
Yeah, and I got to admit, I was kind of expecting it to get a little bit tighter in this second game, but Staksrud's consistency is just really has not wavered, even with this side, which, I mean, look at that. We're already up 9-2, which is really goes to show you how solid he is in singles, physically and mentally.
9-2.
There you go, and that's the same play again.
Right, left.
Playing that backhand and that short ball behind, and that's given Staksrud a match point at 10-2.
10-2.
He went for it. I kind of like that he went for it, and he said it himself. It's not there, but he's like, well, I've got some leeway, so I can do something with
Whittaker
it.
serving now at 2-10.
So they are questioning that call. I don't think we could really see from our angle, and that gives Staksrud a match point again. Oh, maybe they got into his head a little bit.
I got it.
We'll see, but Whittaker's got another chance. 'Cause that last point, he went for the right thing, went for the serve, had a great passing shot. Maybe missed it, but I would like to see him try to.
Whittaker serving here at 2-10. Oh, wow.
That's not a shot that he misses a lot, too. It was there. He just rushed it just a tiny bit. It was, I'm not going to lie, a little bit risky from Whittaker, but he didn't have a lot of choice because Staksrud brought him into the net with that little short ball, but at least off 2, and see if he can get some damage done.
He has. He's already went up to 4 that quickly, so he's gaining some momentum here. So we're at 4-10. Whittaker still serving.
Yeah, it's kind of going the right direction, but it's kind of like I said, that difference. Staksrud, when he's into like the shots, like how long he's taking before he's passing. It's very easy, like Whittaker, just rushed that shot. It's the right ball, but just didn't get set up for the shot.
We're back at match point 10-4.
Yeah, and that is a tough one. It was a little bit long, which is frustrating because he played well. I mean, but Staksrud played amazing. Really didn't miss a lot of balls.